WHAS 11 Weather Impact Forecast is sponsored by Tom Sondergeld Plumbing and West Shore Home.
We do have an improving situation with the power outage numbers, getting reports that some of them are coming back, especially in the Highlands area. That's good news. But how about the rain? A lot of the streams went up fast tonight in some areas. I know southern Indiana seemed to get a little bit damaged, as you were showing at the top of the newscast. Yeah, so a lot of areas in southern Indiana still under a flash flood warning. So we always say turn around, don't drown. You might have gotten a notification on your phone when one of those flash flood warnings was upgraded to considerable. That was for areas like Clark, Scott, Jefferson County, Indiana. Earlier, we were getting reports of water rescues around Henryville. So satellite and radar showing the bulk of that rain is pushing off to the east. A lot of that water should be receding. But what you'll notice off to our west, it's more scattered activity is filling in on the radar. It's going to be tough for us to really get a big dry period between now and tomorrow. And because of that, we still have a 70% chance of showers and storms on Saturday. I think especially in the morning. And then if they get pushed down to the south, that should dry out our northern counties for a bit tomorrow. So cross your fingers from that. Sunday, I will say on the latest model runs, trending a little bit quieter, but we'll see if that wave that moves in from the west can still develop some scattered storms Sunday morning. Definitely drier next week as we do have a ridge of high pressure building in overhead. But in the meantime, excessive rainfall outlooks. This is something that we use for your threat of heavy rain that can lead to flash flooding. You'll notice all of our counties included in that slight risk. That's a level 2 out of 5 on this particular map here, which means you will see some instances of localized and isolated flash flooding. Now tomorrow you'll notice this gets pushed down to the south, primarily south of the parkways, but the rest of us are still included in this map. And if you are at least included, it's something to pay attention to. We still have flood watches for all of us in effect. Tonight, if you're in Louisville areas northward through 8 o'clock in the morning, I would not be surprised if they expand the flood watches. And by they, I mean National Weather Service tomorrow, depending on what the radar looks like, because we still just have a ton of moisture in the air. You'll notice dew points, your humidity, very high, upper 60s, lower 70s for dew points. And temperatures, of course, have greatly cooled with the rain that moved through. So most of us sitting in the upper 60s, lower 70s, warmer still down to our south where things are drier. But our Max HD radar showing a break in the rain now moving out of Louisville. Heaviest rain, most widespread, is now along the I-75 corridor from Cincinnati down to Lexington and into eastern Kentucky. We're getting a bit of dry time behind that, which is good news for all of these active flash flood warnings that you see in the green polygons. But as I mentioned, off to our west around Evansville, you'll notice some scattered activity forming. And models doing a pretty good job on that, showing that first wave pushing off to the east, but additional scattered storms are possible overnight and especially into Saturday morning now. This tries to get pushed down to the south with the front making some southern movement tomorrow. And with that, more of our counties along and south of the parkways might be dealing with a higher flood threat compared to areas off to the north. Behind that, we'll see if the atmosphere can still pop some additional storms during the heat of the afternoon and evening. But I think the morning will be the best threat for everybody, and then hanging down to the south from there. Note that a few storms tomorrow could still be on the strong side, but just like with today, our bigger threat will be the heavy rain that could lead to flooding concerns. Once again, Sunday, we have a 40% chance for now. We'll see how the atmosphere kind of recovers after tomorrow's rounds. But after that point, all we're talking about is heat and humidity next week. High temperatures soar into the 90s as we have a change in our weather pattern. Overnight lows in the 70s, and those feel-like temperatures will be rising into the triple digits. Doug.